Welcome to Flower Juice. My name's John McDonald and today we're really following on from the last video we made. In that video we looked at symmetrical arrangements, and this was based on, I bumped into some students and they were telling me all about college and they were so enthusiastic. So we thought we would do a couple of videos showing a symmetrical arrangement and then an asymmetrical arrangement. So really the difference with the symmetrical arrangement is it's triangular and it's very balanced. Asymmetrical is basically taking the weight. It's still balanced, but it's basically going in an L shape. So you can go to the left or you can go to the right. So we're not creating that heavy arrangement. We're able to do something that has a little bit more style, a little bit more pizzazz. And this is ideal for maybe if you were doing this in a church and you want to do something on the altar. You could do two symmetrical arrangements or you could do two asymmetrical. If you were wanting to do something on a shelf, you could come down and come in. So knowing how to do this would be really very useful. Now in the last video, what we did was we created a framework of greenery and then we added our flowers. For this one, I'm going to do the flowers first, just so you really see how they're placed, and then we'll add our foliage at the end, just to finish it off. So the flowers I've got today, again, we're keeping it simple. We've got some roses as our main flower. We've got some carnations as our secondary flower. I've got a couple of blooms just to give us some visual weight in the centre, so that's really going to anchor our design. And we've got a little bit of wax flower just to create those smaller flowers and a little bit of detail. And again with the foliage, I've got a range of different foliage just to create some interest and texture. So really the first flower that I want to do is place our roses. So we need to step back and decide how we want this to work. So I'm thinking I'm going to go to my right, and really we want this flower here. But what I would do is we're going to aim to have our secondary flower sitting higher up, so that this is in theory slightly smaller. So we'll place our roses, and really the best way to approach this is you're thinking of everything radiating from a central point, and it's the same in this symmetrical arrangement as well. Everything would come from a magical centre point deep within your oasis, and it radiates out. But instead of keeping all the flowers symmetrical and balanced either side, we're going to bring some of this further over. Now we can also actually create a little bit of interest with this, whereas before with the symmetrical one it's very front facing. This can actually be slightly, you can actually get a little bit of a face onto here actually as well. And again, I'm putting a rose through to the back just to create a little bit of depth. So if we've got this one as our main flower, we can have one or two further back will create interest just as we're bringing ones forward. And whereas before we had a line that was very central in the symmetrical, this one the line is coming down and going this way. So I'm going to place these two now, the blooms, and this is a lovely colour actually. So don't be scared to just step back and actually look at what you're doing. This is very much kind of in the eye, this arrangement. So you need to feel that it's working and it's balanced for you. So I'm just thinking that that one can just turn a little bit on the face. And now we can add our carnations. So we've got a little bit of visual weight with the big blooms. Now we can add our carnations to create a little bit of interest. So both the symmetrical arrangement and the asymmetrical arrangement are traditional, but they work very well in lots of locations. So you could use them for gift work, you can use them for in the house, or also in church as well. It really is a good base style of flower arrangement that once you know how to make, you really are laughing, because you'll be able to turn your flowers to any purpose. I'm just going to recess that in there. So really, hopefully just by not having the foliage getting in the way, you can kind of see how these stems work and how the balance of the flowers work together. So we're looking at the way they face, the way they are all radiating from a central point, and also to take us across in this direction. And now we can add our foliage. So I'm going to leave the wax flower to last because it would be a final detail. And this lovely piece of French ruskus is going to give us a beautiful line. And that line will just take your eye out through the arrangement. And again, we've got a beautiful piece here. We can bring that in there. So I hope you can see this, but essentially your eye is going to be drawn down with this line of ruskus. Now this is also a ruskus. This is the hard ruskus as opposed to the French ruskus. And this is going to give us a contrast and some visual weight. And because it has very straight stems, actually, I quite like using it more up and down the way, more vertically rather than horizontally. And with the French ruskus, you can really split it down into little units to get some detail. A little bit of leather leaf. Now if you really want to just practice this, I would just get yourself, say, a couple of types of greenery, a really good amount of carnations, and just really just keep repeating it and practicing it until you feel that you're actually getting the feel of how the flowers should be placed. And then when you're feeling more confident with that, then get yourself some more different types of foliage and some more expensive flowers or nicer flowers, and then you can really enjoy making your arrangement that you can actually keep. So straight away we've got a little bit of recession, we've got the visual impact of the bigger flowers towards the centre, but we have got that feeling of movement and asymmetry. But really when we draw a line here, we're still balanced visually on this side. So I'm going to add some of this lovely wax flower. And the wax flower again is going to give us a contrast of texture and size. So just like in the symmetrical arrangement, that's what we're aiming to achieve, is that interest within the arrangement. An interest on lots of different levels. We really want the person who looks at the flowers to look at them and find them interesting, and as the more they look, the more they see. And there you go. We have just a simple asymmetrical arrangement, again really useful for lots of different purposes. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and please subscribe by clicking here to keep up to date with all our videos, and thank you for watching.